Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. I, of course, am your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I have never felt more honored to sit in front of this microphone for the rest of my life talking about Descendants and Zombies, because as many of you know, I have dedicated the rest of my life to talking about Descendants and Zombies, because I know how these franchises have forever and always held a special place in your heart. So because they have forever and always held a special place in your heart, I feel like YouTube creators should take the time out of their busy schedules, quote-unquote, to upload videos about Descendants and Zombies on a recurring basis for you guys, because you guys have forever wanted the Descendants and Zombies podcast. That is undeniable and become very apparent to me. And because many of you knew I was a YouTuber, showing up at my door every year on Halloween, persuading me and trying to convince me to upload Descendants and Zombies videos for you guys on a recurring basis, I took it under consideration, and to be honest with each and every one of you, after you told me to go watch Descendants and Zombies, I've fallen in love with Descendants and Zombies ever since 2015, and it's been the greatest honor of my life being able to sit in front of this microphone and talk about Descendants and Zombies with you guys, because we share in that same passion, a passion that has undeniably brought us all closer together and made us the best of friends, because I believe some of those beautiful friendships have happened because of Descendants and Zombies. And that is undeniable coming from my heart. So as we share in this passion with each other about Descendants and Zombies, it has become my honor to upload Descendants and Zombies videos to the people who love this franchise. And I think you're going to find time in appreciating and seeing the value that I showcase Descendants and Zombies, because I want to offer it the spotlight and shed some light on the franchise that I think never enough credit is shown for, because people like Clarke and Ruby Rose Turner have shown so much dedication to bringing characters to life. And I know, while Ruby's time was very short-lived with the franchise, I think her story is far from over and far from completion and having been told, because there is still so much of a story to tell with all these beautiful characters seeing involvement in it. Because for those of you who don't have a greater appreciation for the franchises Alice in Wonderland and Cinderella, there is so much of a story and so much emphasis on just the value of time and how precious it is. Like Cinderella's third installment, Cinderella: A Twist in Time, where she also faced the consequences of time travel. So because she also faced the consequences of time travel and altering the fabric of time, so too can Chloe Charming have a greater story and a greater emphasis put on her character, because Cinderella meant so much to so many of Disney's successful franchises and has been a part of all of our lives for at least 35 years. And because Cinderella and Alice have been a part of my life for forever and at least 35 years of my existence on this earth, I've just wanted to showcase them for the true value and the true worth and the appreciation they've forever and always deserved. Because when you have stars like Clarke showing so much dedication, I think never enough nice things can be said about her in the way of a review. And when I see tears in the eyes of Clarke, I have to be honest with each and every one of you, that breaks my heart, because Clarke doesn't deserve to waste her tears on how a critic feels about her. I think she needs to be focusing and prioritizing on each and every one of you and putting smiles on each and every one of your faces, because that's the greatest honor that a celebrity can be given as an actress, as a singer. And Clarke is really focusing on all cylinders, and she's really putting her heart behind everything she believes in, her music, her ability as an actress to bring all these characters to life, because there's something called character development. For those of you who don't have a greater appreciation for theater, the thing is about character development is you learn how to separate different characters with character traits and bring a character to life. And Clarke wants to do that while offering you guys inspiration to believe that you can be a part of a franchise like Descendants of Zombies, because I'm here to tell you guys it can happen for you. And the only people who seem not to have a greater appreciation for Descendants of Zombies are all these critics on YouTube who have no business uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies in the first place. Because the one and only time they've watched Descendants of Zombies is for the purpose of the reaction video they're recording for you guys, and I wish that more people would just actually sit down and watch Descendants of Zombies without a piece of paper and a pencil in front of them and critique these franchises and break it down for you guys in the way they've forever and always been meant to be critiqued and broken down for you. Like I tell you guys in each and every one of my videos, you will come away from watching just one video with a greater appreciation for Descendants of Zombies and feel more inspired than you ever have before, because if I felt like I wasn't inspiring people, I would feel like I let all of you down and let myself down as the host of this show. And I say all the time that I have a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, and I really do. I've even played video games that have been inspired by Alice in Wonderland characters, like Alice Return to Madness, which is available on PlayStation 3. It's an older game, but it's a darker twist on the Alice in Wonderland story. So that goes back to how many adaptations and different variations of the Alice in Wonderland tale we've heard over the course of 50 years. I mean, Alice in Wonderland dates back to the 18th century. It was first published around Christmas time and made it to the bookstore shelves just before Christmas. I believe on Christmas Eve was when Alice in Wonderland saw one of its first publications. And there are a total of 4 books in the series. There's that video game one more time for you guys. And basically what this video game focuses on is how Alice chases a white rabbit down a rabbit hole with a darker twist and a tale on her relationship with the Queen of Hearts and how she became one of the most infamous villains of all time and overtake Wonderland. So because she overtook Wonderland in this video game, the concept of the video game is to save Wonderland from all obstruction and doom, and the twists and turns the plot takes keeps you intrigued. I have to be honest with you, when I played that video game for the first time on PS3, I was enthralled and I kept going because I wanted to hear more about the story. I wanted to find out what was going to be happening next, and I feel the same way about the Wicked Wonderland story because I really believe that this story still has so much more to explore. In the way of all the characters that are going to see their introduction into the franchise, I feel really intrigued that the Princess and the Frog musical is finding their way into the story. And for those of you who remember the Princess and the Frog musical, you will remember it because of the music, because it was a musical. It was based off the New Orleans musical, which is a beautiful time of year every year when they have that festival and all the lights of the city. New Orleans is a beautiful place. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. New Orleans, seeing the city lit up every single night, is an experience in its own right. It's kind of like when Disney World lights up every single night. I would love to go to Disney World just to see the lights light up every single night and stay there for the rest of my life and die there. I've always said that I wanted to die in Disney World and being a fan of it. And I think I will die going down in history for being one of the greatest Disney fans to showcase it for the greater value and greater appreciation. Actually, just the other night I played the latest season of Disney Speedstorm on PS5, and of course it's inspired by Alice in Wonderland characters. Winnie the Pooh characters are coming in the next season, I think season 17 or something. But in this latest season, Alice in Wonderland characters had racers added to the roster. So it included the Queen of Hearts, the Mad Hatter, Alice, your basic characters. The Cherokee Cat was in there too. And I remember the Queen of Hearts being so annoying because of her voice, and having so many character traits that were just developed for the purpose of being annoying. And a lot of people felt the same way about the Queen of Hearts, but I think there's a greater story and appreciation for that character, of how she went down in history for being one of the most revered Disney villains of all time. And I really appreciate how Disney is showcasing their villains with a greater appreciation now than ever before. Hades, Maleficent, Ursula, because I think that they really added so much to a story. I mean, you take the Little Mermaid story. I mean, the Little Mermaid was just a story about a princess who lived under the sea, who wanted to discover what the real world was like, and she had the honor of doing it. She may have had to sacrifice her voice and sacrifice her, her sound to have the power to walk on land, but once she did and discovered the power of what was lying beyond the sea, it was something far greater than she ever could imagine, and she found true love in Eric because of it. It was a beautiful story, but then you think about Ursula and how much she brought to the story, how much controversy and how unpredictable she made that story, and there were sequels after sequels developed for The Little Mermaid, and so many adaptations over the years, so much so that Jodie Benson, the original voice of the Ariel character, her daughter became inspired to be a part of a stage production for The Little Mermaid many years later that Jodie Benson had something to do with. So these fairy tales have offered so much inspiration to so many people, including Kylie Cantrell, that I think that, if anything, we should be uploading videos of positive reviews of Kylie to encourage her to keep moving forward. Because when she keeps moving forward, she's going to have more of an opportunity to entertain each and every one of you and inspire you, because she's come off as an inspiration to so many people. I mean, let's be real for a moment. There's a 7-year-old girl watching this video because she's inspired by Kylie Cantrell, and she wants to live her life out just like Kylie Cantrell, just like Princess Red. So why should we be discouraging their hopes and dreams of ever that becoming a reality for them? Because their hopes and dreams are that much closer to them than ever before. That's why I put so much time in behind Alice in Wonderland characters, and why I fell in love with franchises like Cinderella. Because Cinderella just had a dream. That's how this story of Cinderella began. And her dream was to go to the ball, fall in love with Prince Charming, and live happily ever after. I mean, what girl out there doesn't have a dream of living happily ever after, no matter if you choose to admit to it or not? I think every girl, regardless of their age, their walk of life, their aspirations, have a dream of living happily ever after. And I think that more encouragement needs to be offered to people who want to live out their dream of living happily ever after, as opposed to all the criticism that they receive. Because I know everybody is faced with peer pressure. I know everybody is under a considerable amount of pressure every day going to school and having to live up to the expectations of their peers and their friends and their family. But the thing is, once you realize a dream comes into fruition for you, the greatest realization and greatest appreciation you get from that is sitting back and saying, oh my God, did this really happen for me? And the realization that you made your dreams become that much more reality hits you, and it's kind of like really cool. And this cool vibe that these characters present in Descendants and Zombies is unlike anything that I've ever seen Disney promote over the years, because I saw what they did with High School Musical and how they capitalized on all the merch and all the ticket sales for the concert productions for High School Musical. I mean, Disney really capitalized on this because Disney's always been about capitalism and really using their stars to their fullest potential, because they recognize the potential in a star like Kylie Control, like they did for Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens years ago. And where is Vanessa Hudgens right now? Well, she's the biggest wrestling fan in the world, and she's exploring sides of her personality we've never seen before. Just the other day, I saw Vanessa Hudgens bouncing back and forth in a WWE ring. She's the biggest wrestling fan in the world right now. She's the biggest fan of The Rock, although The Rock doesn't wrestle as much as he did probably 25 years ago because he went on to entertainment and making movies. But she's the biggest wrestling fan in the world. So too is Danielle Fishel. So I guess my career as a wrestling journalist paid dividends, because a lot of these Disney stars are drawing inspiration now from being wrestling fans, and it's really cool to see that, you know, they're still getting exposure, but in different ways. And I think that the thing about Descendants and Zombies is this is really the first franchise. I mean, High School Musical stars and Hannah Montana stars have kind of moved on. I just spoke on how Vanessa Hudgens was the biggest wrestling fan in the world. I say this because I was too. But I moved on from that, and I found a niche that was very supportive of my vision for the foreseeable future, and that came in the form of Descendants and Zombies fans. The thing is, a lot of people will upload videos about Descendants and Zombies trying to achieve monetization and opportunities with the YouTube Partnership Program, the YPP program. But I never showed up on YouTube to upload videos about Descendants and Zombies. What I wanted to do was I wanted to upload videos about Descendants and Zombies because I loved talking about Descendants and Zombies, and I really enjoyed talking about Descendants and Zombies. That's what really stood out to me about Descendants and Zombies, was the passion that came from everybody's heart about this franchise. And because I saw the passion that existed in everybody's heart for Descendants and Zombies, I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to dedicate the rest of my life to talking about Descendants and Zombies in a way that no other YouTube creator could ever do it. Because I saw the dedication from Ruby Rose Turner and how excited she was to bring a character like Bridget to life. And having the opportunity to bring a character like Bridget to life was a huge opportunity for Ruby, because we remember her from shows like Coop and Cammy Ask the World and Cammy Rather, who was a very unpredictable character who was just so fun to be around. That was what I noticed about Ruby. Every character that Ruby brought to life for Disney Channel or a Disney Channel original movie, she brought to life, and she had so much fun doing it. So I think that an opportunity to play the young Queen of Hearts, Bridget, was an opportunity that Ruby was really crying out for and really wanted. And that's why I say that if Ruby wants to be the live-action Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled, then Ruby should go for it. And I'm fully supportive of that. So too am I fully supportive of every dream that Kylie Control has ever had, because I really believe there's a greater appreciation coming from this new cast of Descendants than we ever saw from the original cast. Because I think it was just about an opportunity for people like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. No matter how many times Dove Cameron says she misses playing Mal in the Descendants franchise, I don't know if I've ever believed it, because I don't see that same passion and that dedication coming from the hearts of Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, perhaps more so Sophia Carson than I ever did Dove, because Dove very quickly closed the door on the chances of her ever reprising a role as Mal in the Descendants franchise, which I find to be very disrespectful towards the fans, because if you're going to show up on YouTube and you're going to talk about Descendants and Zombies, at least talk about it with prestige and honor that fans expect you to show. And really prove and back up your claim of being a fan of Descendants and Zombies. Show your Alice in Wonderland merchandise. Show your Descendants merchandise in the background, and be so proud to be a fan of it. But then again, the more I think about it, you know, you can show all the Descendants merchandise in the background as part of your YouTube backdrop and your platform, but showing all your Descendants merchandise doesn't really tell me much about the host of the show and the video that you're uploading and how you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because I think there's a greater appreciation in uploading videos about Descendants and Zombies and the way you present your content and the way you break it down. Because I can have all the Descendants merch in the world. I can have all the dolls, the hoodies, the sweatshirts, which look absolutely fabulous. I mean, that merchandise they sold for the Worlds Collide Tour, top-notch quality, sold millions of hoodies, millions of t-shirts, and it was because of the popularity of the revenue. And I understand that. I get that. But, you know, all the merchandise in the world doesn't tell me much about you as a fan of Descendants and Zombies. The thing is, a 7-year-old girl can tell me how she's a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I would believe that 7-year-old girl over any critic on YouTube, because the greater appreciation always comes from the 7-year-old girl who loves Descendants and Zombies. And that's what I always see, and that's what I always recognize about Descendants and Zombies fans, is that a 7-year-old girl has a greater appreciation forever and always over a critic. And that's why I would believe you guys, ever before I believe one of the critics and what they believe is going to happen in terms of direction, storyline, because they are just suggesting storylines for Descendants of Zombies to see its foregone conclusion or its dramatic conclusion, because that's what people are predicting that Descendants of Zombies is going to have, is a formatable conclusion or a foreseen conclusion that they want you to believe in. And the more that you buy into what a critic is trying to sell you on YouTube, that is exactly the reactions they want to get out of you, and they've succeeded in their goal. But every single time you shut down a critic and what they believe is going to happen for Descendants of Zombies, then you overshine every amount of criticism that your favorite stars receive, and you stop the tears from showing up in their eyes, which never should have been there in the first place. I say this because Kylie Cantrell is incredibly gorgeous, and Ruby Rose Turner is beautiful. I can't forget to mention that. I always mention that on my videos because Ruby Rose Turner has never ceased to take my breath away and make me feel more inspired to be kinder to everybody in my life. If not for Ruby, I don't know where I'd be today, and I don't know what I'd be uploading videos about on YouTube for whatever niche I'd be providing commentary for, which probably wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. It's so cool having the honor to talk about your favorite fairy tale characters. I don't ever get paid for any videos that I upload, and I've never qualified for a YouTube partnership program or monetization opportunity. And I don't know if I ever will, and honestly I don't care if I ever do, because I just love being on YouTube. Kind of like how Kylie Cantrell started a YouTube show inspired by Hello Kitty called Hello Kylie. And actually, come to think of it, there's a Hello Kitty store actually in the mall here where I live, and it's inspired by all Hello Kitty merchandise. And I think Kylie Cantrell would love actually living here because there's a Hello Kitty store literally 5 minutes away from where I live. And every single time I go inside of this Hello Kitty store and I pick up a Hello Kitty merchandise, I think about Kylie Cantrell and how she inspired her YouTube show because of Hello Kylie, and how she never felt more inspired to upload videos on her favorite shows, like iCarly and Victorious. I don't think there is ever a day goes by that I don't think about Kylie Cantrell and what she's going through. Kylie, I want you to know, man, I think about you every day, and I support your dreams and your hopes, and I support every intuition that you've ever had in your lifetime, despite how the critics feel about you. Because it's about time somebody showed up on YouTube, and if they're going to upload a video about Kylie Cantrell, say nice things about her. Make her feel inspired. Make her feel encouraged to keep on doing the great job she's doing as a Disney star, because she's one of the most popular Disney stars of all time in terms of revenue, ratings, and reviews as far as I'm concerned. You can post the most critical review on IMDb or RottenTomatoes.com, but it will never take away the pride and the passion Kylie Cantrell has. It will never put a damper on the hopes and dreams of any kid who's ever felt inspired by Kylie Cantrell, because somewhere out there today in this really big universe, because the universe is really big, the galaxy if you would, there's a girl wanting to see a really nice video on Kylie Cantrell, and my hope is that I just hope I upload a video that inspires them to be a fan, an even bigger fan of Kylie Cantrell than they already are. Buying the dolls, the red costume for Halloween, which looks absolutely fabulous, by the way. I love Halloween every year because girls always show up at my door dressed up as their favorite Descendants characters, and it shows a great deal of appreciation, which I can never seem to get enough of. I love the Halloween costumes for Descendants. I love the dolls, especially these 10th anniversary dolls, which look absolutely fantastic. I think the detail for these dolls are great, and I can understand why they're so popular, and it kind of brought me back to being a fan of collecting wrestling action figures and merchandise based off my favorite characters like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Mickey Mouse over the years, because I'm a big fan of Disney merch, as you can see there in the back with Dumbo and Stitch and all these Disney characters. It really means so much to me that I can actually share my passion with Descendants of Zombies, and this has been the first time in forever that I've had the honor of doing it. Because I really believe that if you're going to show up on YouTube, you really got to show up on YouTube to make a point. And I think some way or somehow I've been able to do that by sharing my stories of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies with each and every one of you, because it's really become the greatest honor of my life to have the honor to sit here in front of this microphone and to have talked about Descendants of Zombies for however long I have. And I've already uploaded over 3 podcasts about Descendants of Zombies, and it's not even 12 noon. I haven't even had my lunch break yet. And you guys must be thinking, what do you do all day, Jonathan Clarke? You upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for us all day, every day? Yes, I do. Because I see the appreciation for Descendants of Zombies coming from your hearts. And I've just wanted to share that same passion coming from mine so our hearts will connect about a passion we feel mutual about. Because my understanding of Descendants of Zombies goes further than any other YouTube creator out there ever has. Because I know what it's like to be a fan of something and be excited about the latest episode of a Disney show or a Disney franchise, an expansion off of Descendants. Because I know what it was like to be excited about Descendants 2. Something we never ever thought would happen. By 2017, the music got better, the outfits got outstanding, the costumes were absolutely fabulous and breathtaking. Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson's performances were breathtaking, and I never ever forgot it. I remember being a part of the red carpet premiere of Descendants 2 and thinking this was going to be something so special for Disney, and it really was. And it created so many moments and so many memories that we never ever forgot, and we forever and always held close to our hearts because we feel so passionate about Descendants and Zombies, and that's what's so cool about being a fan of this franchise. This really cool vibe that Descendants and Zombies presents us with, because it lets us know that every dream that we have can become a reality for us, which is why I really appreciate how Kylie Control opened up every tour date of the Worlds Collide tour with how a dream can happen for anybody, because it really can. And I forever and always wanted you to hold on to that and feel encouraged and inspired by what Kylie Control offers to you guys, no matter if it's a 5-second TikTok video of her dancing in her house, or a video where she's offering you insight on what's going to happen with Descendants and offering her predictions and her theories, because she's talked a lot about Descendants, which makes me feel more passionate about Descendants and Zombies, and I can really see that passion coming from each and everybody's heart, whoever was a fan of this franchise, because of how Kylie feels about it. And this beautiful friendship between Kylie Contrell and Malia Baker, I think we should really enjoy it and support it, as opposed to uploading videos with criticism in it. Because this universe is only so big, and we only have one life to live, and we don't know how long we have with every lifetime that we see in this world. So because time is the most precious commodity and it always runs out, I think we need to make the most of every opportunity we have and the time that we're allocated to spend it with the people we love, and to always and forever remember the memories that Descendants and Zombies has presented us with, because it's really a chance to take full advantage of and be opportunistic about. And I think that when we talk about Descendants and Zombies, we should say something nice for the fans of Descendants and Zombies to feel more inspired than they ever have before. So if you would like to do me the honor of coming along with me on this incredible journey and join me on this incredible and unforgettable journey that I've been on over the last 10 years, you can always hit my subscribe button and hit my like button and ring my bell to stay up to date with everything happening on this YouTube channel, because there's something here in this archives for every fan of Descendants and Zombies. Because I like to believe that some way or somehow I've touched your heart with these videos, and that gives me the greatest honor of my entire existence. Guys, thank you so much for making this an incredible year. One year I will never, ever forget, because I was able to touch the hearts of so many Descendants and Zombies fans, because I, too, am a fan of Descendants and Zombies, and I have never, ever forgotten the opportunity Descendants and Zombies presented me with, and the chance to get to meet each and every one of you, which became the greatest honor of my life. Guys, thank you so much. We will talk about Descendants and Zombies one final time before sunset this evening. Just after sunset, I will join you with one final video with my thoughts and predictions and theories on Descendants and Zombies, as I elaborate once again and break down the franchises that you've known and loved, because I love talking about Descendants and Zombies and doing commentaries on Descendants and Zombies as opposed to uploading reaction videos that you see all the time. So guys, if you would do me the honor of hitting my subscribe button, hitting my like button, and ringing my bell to stay up to date with notifications for everything happening on this YouTube channel, that would be the greatest honor of my life. Because we'll stay calm and zombie on into the foreseeable future, because that means that life is so much sweeter when all of us are, because kindness really does go a long way in this world. Guys, seriously, thank you so much.